Hello everyone. You know what I never expected to be such a big thing in 2023? Gaming companies. They're putting out some long letter on social media saying, "Oh, we're sorry you produced something that came out as broken." I was browsing Twitter and I saw so many people post collages of gaming apology letters from developers and publishers apologizing for the broken game releases that they have shipped because yet another game was shipped in a less than ideal state. I know that it's been a thing that has been popularized by the likes of Naughty Dog and CD Projekt Red when it came to delays of their big games back in 2020, like The Last of Us Part 2 and Cyberpunk 2077, but these days it seems to be the case that we get more apology letters for broken titles, unplayable messes, and undercooked releases compared to games that everyone is generally excited about. It's like an episode of Kitchen Nightmares, where Ramsay tastes the food, absolutely feels a sense of disgust after eating it, and then he has a sense of horror in his eyes when he takes a peep at the kitchen. This only became a big thing pretty recently when Star Wars Jedi Survivor was launched. To be really honest, I was expecting it to be another banger from Respawn. Fallen Order, despite the fact that it languishes on my PlayStation and PC libraries, that was the first big Star Wars hit from EA after the colossal misfires that were Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. It was also released in a relatively polished state, and it generally ran decent across the board. Jedi Survivor unfortunately didn't work out the same way. When it was released in April, the PC version, even on the best, most high-end rigs, it couldn't seem to run properly. The console versions had insanely bad performance to the point that the PS5 version, in performance mode, dipped to 648p at its absolute lowest when it comes to resolution. Like, that alone, that's like PS3 Switch tier resolution. And of course, Respawn decided to release an apology letter talking about the various problems most PC rigs, even the most powerful ones, have in trying to run the game. As it says in their letter, "Rest assured, we are working to fix these cases directly." It's as if we haven't seen any of these pledges before, right? The same thing happened with the PC ports of The Last of Us Part 1 remake, a port that many in the PC gaming community were eager to play after a near 10-year period of PlayStation exclusivity. When it finally came out in March, guess what happened? VRAM usage was off the charts. It was stuttering on even the most powerful PCs, and it had frequent crashes. The real kicker was that they issued a whole statement talking about a delay of a few weeks, and it was still released in a state that was unacceptable. And just like Jedi Survivor, the promise of patches was always being pledged to make up for shipping the game in a bad state. At least on the surface, both games are really good experiences. They just needed more time in the oven to fix up their patches. And we have the most recent example that basically kicked off a growing disdain for this kind of practice within the gaming industry. If we thought Redfall was bad enough with its lobotomized AI and amateurish gunplay, the release of Lord of the Rings Gollum would make Redfall look like the Shawshank Redemption of video games. This wasn't a title that I thought would really make the rounds within the gaming industry, but I did not expect to be this bad of a game. As of right now, it's the worst reviewed game of the year with a whopping 36 out of 100 on Metacritic. And while I haven't seen much of the gameplay, and I definitely do need to check out more of it, what I've seen through Twitter screenshots, clips and reviews paint a really dire picture.
Is that?
Wait, what?
Dude. That shit was like in Warcraft 3, just like people marching onto my tower.
What?
Once again, there's the same fare of crashes, game-breaking bugs, an underdeveloped morality and choice system, dull gameplay, and visuals that look like they're more at home on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Unsurprisingly, a day after release, Daedalic Entertainment, who developed the game, they released their usual apology message. "We would like to sincerely apologize for the underwhelming experience many of you have had." Nah, I'm seriously not reading any of this. It's really come to something when we see more of these apology letters for broken games, and it also leads to the state of video games today. It just begs the question, why do we continue to see more of these broken games more than ever? At this point, it's become a competition to see who can release the most buggy experience possible, and then, after the inevitable backlash from the player base, releasing textbook empty apology with the promise of patches. You see those athletics races, right? The ones where athletes, they have to run at 100 meters within a matter of seconds, or how you are served a plate of slop and the wait is just bowing down, apologizing. That's how things are right now with the amount of broken games and ports that we've received this year. Funnily enough though, releasing apology tweets has had the opposite effect, because we've seen this come up so much that gaming communities have become fed up of seeing these same excuses over and over again. It's become somewhat of a meme right now, but the point still probably stands. And you might be wondering, how does it link to the state of video games today? Whilst we are receiving games that are deserving of that full price tag, we're also receiving games that are not worth dropping $70 on. Why is it that it's apparently acceptable for publishers just to release unfinished, undercooked games and then apologise for it, thinking that it's going to make some kind of impact? Communication is important when it comes to the progress of a game's release, or how well it is doing when it comes to feedback, but seeing this kind of nonsense every couple weeks now, it's unacceptable. In the case of live service games, it's a pretty sad sight when some games focus more on the cosmetics and microtransaction stores compared to its ability to properly function when they come out or deliver on their promises. How's that PvE going for Overwatch 2 then? Maybe the better solution is to go back, see if the game is ready for release, and if it really isn't, take that sweet time to continue polishing the game so that everyone wins. The developers are proud of that project and the players win too with a game that they can genuinely enjoy. I have more respect for Nintendo and Square Enix for what they've done recently with The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom and Final Fantasy XVI. Nintendo specifically finished Tears of the Kingdom last year, but it kept it in the oven for another year so that it could be polished without any significant bugs whatsoever. And Square, they did the same thing. Their game was playable from start to finish, right? But they spent that additional development time polishing the experience, and in the meantime, they kept putting out new updates on how each game was shaping up in the development process. I feel that this is the best mindset to go on with. Even if you have to wait longer, it means that we get a better game in the process. I feel like the release of Gollum was a bit of a turning point in that we can't take these kinds of corporate apologies anymore, particularly when we've been getting this kind of nonsense for the last few months alone. Less apology letters for shit games and more polished good games, please. Before I end this video, I have to say, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm absolutely humbled by reaching such a momentous milestone. It only feels like yesterday that I reached my first 100 subscribers, made the backlog video to celebrate that, and that video blew up exponentially to such a degree that my channel has grown at an unbelievable pace. Once again, thank you so much for the support. The only way is up. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and if you really enjoyed the content on this channel, feel free to subscribe. It's really appreciated. You can also feel free to follow me on Twitter or join my Discord to get new updates on new videos that I'm working on. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.